say that was the party in 1968 which planted the seed for the possibility of a multiracial party to take on government, and it did. It won 16 out of 24 seats in Penang, beating UMNO in 4 seats. You saw that in DKL today, so we want to see that. And coming quickly to the last one on young voters, how to engage them? For one thing, please don't just bring down the age of youth. What it means by youth in all these organizations. For goodness sake, Kil Koyo can still be a youth leader. I think we really have to be him. So if you do not engage, I think you will find that political parties are going to be in trouble. And do you know why the youth are so upset? It's because there are a whole rhetoric about social contract. The social contract, the definite social contract in 1957 and today are two different things. Youth today do not want to be told that your citizenship is part of that bargaining process. So you have not to take any shit from us. So we are telling them that no, we do not want to take that from you. We are Malaysians. So this is precisely what that makes the youth quite upset. So I think we are seeing the emergence of the new generation of Malaysians. Thank you.
I think India will be our last commentator from the panel, and we'll be winding down. Unless there's some earth-shaking question.
Just a couple of quick points. On election day, I was actually asked whether I was concerned about claims of election irregularities. I said yes, I was, because the margin was possibly going to be quite slim. We were lucky that it was not as slim as it could have been, and all the election petitions are going to be launched within the next week or so. So there will be challenges. So I think we must not let up on the need for there to be a free and fair election process. So the local Thursday is cut out for it, and I think it should not stop until we get to a point where we can be certain that no matter what comes, we will be getting a fair result one way or the other. Which brings me to the point of delegation of election constituencies. Why is it that way? Somebody asked this question earlier. Why is it that some constituencies are so big and some are so small? It's the Barisan. Because the Barisan has been deciding how to arrange voters since 57 really, because the election chairman, as Dato Sri Nazri is very kind to point out, is seriously expecting to be independent. You know, so that's the point. We have to be vigilant about free and fair elections, and the fight is not over on that issue. Now, about laws to make sure that MPs vote with their conscience as opposed to against it, I think that's something that's going to be quite difficult. You have the whip system, but I think the point that we have to make very, very clearly is that the Barisan Nasional, if it continues to be the way it is irrelevant. And that's the point that we have to tell them. If you come back to us with racial policies and racial considerations at the forefront, then we don't want you. And that's where the youth comes into play. The younger voters, let me say this again. I was told that in terms of the demographics of voters, there was a significant increase amongst the youngest voters and the oldest voters. I know that parents of my friends were going around rusting up support because they were fed up. But I also know that young voters were also mobilizing. Now 2013 will be decisive because we have 5 more years. There will be 5 more layers of voters coming into the election next round. So it's important that if you voted, you make sure that your friends know that and why you voted and what you voted for. Youth is important. You will define the next election, and in defining the next election, you will define this country. Thank you.
It's now sharp 1. I, as chairman, am in your hand. You want to continue? Yes.
Can I be allowed to make a response?
I'm giving the panel a chance. Yes.
This is, I think, the first thing that somehow our MPs must do, and if you have any influence on them, try to inform them about the need to make our parliament independent. It is not really independent because in 1964 we had an act of parliament called the Parliamentary Services Act, which makes parliament as part of its own, as one service away from the government service. So actually it is the speakers who administer parliament and they are free. But in 1995 that act was repealed and it made parliament almost part of the executive. And I think 3 years ago there was an attempt to bring back that act of parliament, but it failed. So I think this is a very important act which will make Parliament truly independent. Thank you.